First of all, you got Ezekiel Elliott missing all of training camp. I know he was working out in Mexico. How much does that matter at that position that you weren't there for training camp?
It doesn't. I mean, for him, it doesn't really matter. I think every situation is different. You can't put, every player in one category and say, "Oh, this is going to work out for him or not." And you got to remember, Zeke has missed time throughout the season. I think he was suspended a couple of years ago and came back and was just fine. So, for me, I expect Zeke to be ready to roll. It's so funny. Everyone goes, "Oh, he's going to get hurt." Like, how many people got hurt during training camp?
Yeah.
Everyone, right? So it's football. That's part of playing football. Guys get banged up. So for me, Zeke understood his worth. The Cowboys understood his worth, obviously, with that contract they gave him, and now it's time to go get it. And I think having Zeke there and Dak there, that they're ready and primed and ready to try to win the AFC East.
I don't know if you agree with me, but I said if you take away all the quarterbacks and you were looking at the most valuable player for a team, I said Ezekiel Elliott might be my guy because you can go to the Super Bowl with him. Without him, you may not make the playoffs. What do you think of that?
No, I agree 110% with you. That was my argument the whole time. We saw what the Cowboys were without Ezekiel Elliott. And that's why Jerry and obviously the Cowboys front office worked hard to get that deal done. Just because, again, like this is a production-based business. You got to produce, and producing means getting victories. And so I want to say they won one game or something without Ezekiel Elliott, and the numbers that they were putting up were just not even close. And as much as everyone loves Tony Pollard, and he did a great job this preseason, he's not Ezekiel Elliott. So you wanted all that stuff. We also got to remember, too, they have a first-year play caller in
Kellen Moore.
So Kellen Moore has – you want to make sure your play caller is comfortable, too. You got to give him all his weapons out there, and so he can be ready as well. So they have some issues, but I think, getting Zeke back will help kind of get everything rolling. And I'm confident the Cowboys will be in that NFC playoff race here pretty soon.
I'm wondering if we see this from Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, what we saw with Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think you're going to see it from Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to get that deal done early. Okay, but is Saquon Barkley going to say 2 years out, hey, you've used me for 3 years, I produced, and I want to get paid now, as opposed to waiting for this to come up and you franchise me or something like that?
Even in Saquon's case, you would think that the Giants would watch and see how this kind of has played out for the Pittsburgh Steelers and now the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers, that is a distraction. And you want to make sure that your player, your locker room understands. Like, there is no – it's so funny to me when I look at these teams and how they try to run their organization. You don't have to play hardball with your best player. Everyone in the locker room knows Saquon. Everyone in the Cowboys locker room knows that Zeke is their best player on the field. That's just what we know. Is when you're in the locker room and when you see a guy, you're like, okay, he's the best guy. But if you don't treat him or take care of him in those situations, other guys in the locker room are like, well, man, if you did that to Zeke, you'd do it to me.
Yeah.
And I always try to use other organizations like I call the Rams games on radio, but the way they've taken care of their business, it's unbelievable. You took care of Todd early, then you take care of Jared Goff early, and mind you, none of this is played out through the media either. No, I didn't even know that Jared Goff, and I work for the organization, that Jared Goff was working on an extension.
Yeah.
Right, and so they take care of it a certain way. And guess what? The players in the locker room know that Jared earned that right to do that. He took them to the Super Bowl after 2 years. Every year they've gotten better when McVay's gotten there. They took care of Todd Gurley because of the big year that he had. They take care of their guys early so that there is they don't want their players to be upset. They saw how it was when Aaron was holding out twice. They didn't like that. And so they're like, all right, it's our job to get ahead of the ball or ahead of the curve and try to take care of our players. And so, these teams that do this whole thing, like we're going to wait and try to get you cheaper, as you see now, players, first of all, social media allows you to see everyone's contract. There's certain people on social media that, the insiders and other people that tell you what people are making. And so as a player where your value is. And it's important that the team sees that as well, and they switch the way they do business a little bit.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.